5, man.
Aye.
So I love this record. I think it's some of the finest songwriting you've ever done. And,
Oh, thanks.
yeah, are you happy with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's obviously the idea of being born to sing. It's a concept that I think all musicians can relate to. You remember like buying your first records?
Yeah, I remember. The first record I bought was Sonny Terry Trio,
Mm-hmm.
Hootin' Blues.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 78. It was cost 1 and 6 on Parlophone.
And how old were you?
I was still at school, so it was like pocket money, so 13.
13, yeah. Was there a point when you realized that you weren't just going to be a guy who buys records, but that you
Well,
wanted
my
to
father
perform?
had a lot of records anyway. I mean,
Right.
he turned me on to the bulk of it.
Mm-hmm.
The Chicago Blues, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Bo Diddley, Louis Armstrong, Bechet, British trad, Dr. Bill, Chris Barber.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of key recordings that
Right.
influenced me.
And at some point, you went from being a fan to being a guy who I want to do this, right?
When I was a kid, I was singing in the prom, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I didn't really know until when I was at school, I wanted to be a vet.
I've read that the area of the brain that processes music is initially it's there for us as infants. So before we have language skills, a mother will coo to a baby. Oh, look at the baby, and those intervals are the same for Aborigines or Eskimos or people in Detroit. The mothers use the same musical intervals, but for some reason we, even though we shut down 90% of the synapses in our brain by the time we're 12, we keep the music part open, which I suppose is to enable us to transcend the limitations of conversational language. That there are places where language won't take us. There are parts of us that don't address deeper things, which is what.
Yeah, well, from a sociological point of view, if you didn't tune out, if you went in the middle of town here or any town, and you weren't tuning out all the stuff that was going on around you, audio,
Mm-hmm.
you'd die. So in the modern world, to exist in the modern world, we have to tune out all this audio stuff because it would kill us, basically. So that happened over a long, long period of time where people were tuning things out to exist. And guess what? The Industrial Revolution or all that stuff, so go pre that. Then this audio thing and these other parts of awareness, whether they want to call it, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and all these kind of things were more like natural to human beings.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Industrial Revolution sort of wiped all that stuff out. And the modern world has wiped it out even more.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not really in touch with all these parts that used to be a natural part of a human existence.
Right. It was about a year ago that I came up here for the first time to talk to you about making a record, and for the first half hour or so, we were talking about doing a live album of you covering jazz standards, and somewhere in there, the conversation got a little more ambitious, and we said, okay, let's make a real full out album and with new original songs. Did you have these songs before then, or?
Yeah, they were recorded over. Well, I met you. I had them, because they were recorded over a period of a couple of years.
Right. Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah.
Because there seemed, it could be me reading into it, but I see a real. If you don't necessarily follow the sequence of the album, I see a real dramatic curve in that could pertain to even like writing songs where 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 you're fed up with greed, fed up with in entitlement out there in the world, and the mystic has got nothing to say. But then in searching for something, you go into the retreat and view, and you withdraw a little bit.
Well, yeah. Basically, it does depends. Like, how hard do you want to go? It's like whenever you're famous, then you automatically become what they call a mark.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You become a mark when you're famous. You're not famous. Nobody gives they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
When you're famous, and the more famous you are, you're more of a mark you are. So you become a target. You become a mark for grifters. And the world is full of grifters. And the music business attracts grifters.
Mm-hmm.
And see, this is what I don't like about all these like pop magazines and all rock magazines, because they never address this stuff. Yeah.
But you didn't really find comfort. I didn't get a sense that you were soothed.
Well, I mean,
by
the
going down
songs
the
are just like, they're kind of windows, and it's like I say. I mean, it doesn't. It isn't actual reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like I say, some guy was asking me about, you said phony pseudo jazz. That's just a line I put in. I didn't. It wasn't really phony pseudo jazz I was hearing.
Right.
But it just seemed to fit the song. So
It's a great
I was
line,
thinking
yeah.
about this guy. He's sitting in a restaurant and he's hearing like stuff, and it's not real jazz, and I stuck that in. But, there's stuff that you put in songs. It's all.
It's highly evocative, that, man.
It's
a great image.
They used to call it poetic license.
Yes.
But those two words have seemed to be disappeared from the vocabulary. But that's what they called it back in the day.